All right, let's dive in. Today we're doing a deep dive into Health and Fitness 101.
This guide is awesome.
It really is. And we're going to break down all the key takeaways and make them work for you.
And make them actionable so you can actually use them in your daily life.
Exactly. No need to feel overwhelmed. It's all about those little steps.
Small changes, big impact. Right. That's what this guide's all about.
Exactly.
Doesn't get bogged down with complicated jargon or crazy workout plans.
Yeah, or super restrictive diets. It's not about that.
No, it's really approachable.
Okay, so they start off by talking about analyzing your lifestyle. And I think we can all relate to this.
Absolutely.
Life gets busy. Healthy habits kind of slip away sometimes.
Yeah, you skip the gym.
Skip the gym.
You're ordering takeout instead of cooking a healthy meal at home.
You're scrolling on your phone instead of getting up and moving around.
It happens to the best of us, but
But this guide is here to help us get back on track.
It is.
What I thought was really interesting is how they talk about this link between even small amounts of movement
Oh, yeah, that's fascinating.
and feeling better,
Oh.
both physically and mentally.
Right. You don't have to become a marathon runner overnight.
No, not at all. They actually suggest really simple things,
Like what?
like taking the stairs instead of the elevator,
That's easy.
walking to the store if you can instead of driving,
Oh, yeah.
gardening.
I love that.
It's about finding ways to weave that movement into your everyday life.
Makes sense.
What are some little swaps that you think you could make in your routine?
I think that's a great question for the listeners to think about, too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then the guide jumps into spilling all the secrets to health and fitness.
Yeah.
And it's not about deprivation or extremes.
I was going to say, it's not like cut this out and never eat this again.
Exactly.
It's really about making smart choices.
right.
So they break it down into these key ingredients, kind of like a recipe. Healthy eating, so making sure you're nourishing your body with the good stuff.
Makes sense.
Regular exercise. It doesn't have to be anything crazy.
It doesn't have to be hours at the gym every day.
Exactly.
Right.
Stress management, because we all know
Huge.
stress can really wreak havoc on our bodies.
Absolutely.
Checking out alternative health options, so
Yeah.
thinking outside the box.
Oh, interesting.
And then, of course, getting enough sleep.
The most important one, probably.
Oh, absolutely. Sleep is so crucial.
I think we all need to work on that one a little bit.
I know I do, for sure. So let's dive a little deeper into that healthy eating piece.
Okay, let's do it.
I love how they emphasize that it's not about cutting out all the fun stuff.
Yeah, it's all about balance.
It is. It's about understanding what your body actually needs to thrive.
Totally.
There's this analogy in the guide. It made me laugh out loud when I read it.
Okay, I got to hear this.
So imagine your body's talking to you, and it's like, I don't need this. Throw it away or store it, like in your butt cheeks.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that funny? But it really makes you think, right?
It's like, okay, maybe I don't need that extra slice of pizza.
Right. Maybe I should choose something that's going to nourish my body instead.
Yeah, and speaking of making smart choices, the guide talks a lot about nutrition labels.
Oh, yeah. Those can be confusing.
They can be, but the guide breaks it down in a really easy to understand way.
That's good, because sometimes I look at those labels and I'm like, I have no idea what any of this means.
I feel that, but understanding those labels can be really empowering.
It's like you can finally decipher the code.
Right. It helps you become like a savvy shopper.
Yes.
You can actually pick foods that align with your goals.
You're not just blindly grabbing things off the shelves.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And then when it comes to exercise,
Well, yeah, this is a big one.
the guide really debunks that whole no pain, no gain myth.
I'm so glad, because that's so intimidating.
It is. It makes it seem like exercise has to be this grueling, painful experience.
Right. Like you have to be sore for days afterwards.
Exactly. But the guide emphasizes that fitness is achievable for everyone.
Even if you have a busy schedule.
Even if you have a busy schedule.
Right.
It's about finding what works for you.
And enjoying it. That's the key.
And enjoying it. Exactly. You don't have to force yourself to do something you hate.
Totally. Because then you're not going to stick with it.
Exactly. So they talk about things like walking, jogging, dancing, even just taking your dog for an extra walk.
Yeah. Those are all great options.
It's about finding those little ways to move your body.
And it doesn't have to be super intense.
Nope, not all. And then stress management.
Oh, big S word.
The big one, because we all deal with stress in our lives.
Yeah, it's unavoidable.
It is, but it's about how we manage it.
Right. Finding healthy coping mechanisms.
Exactly. And the guide really dives into this idea of relaxation techniques.
Like what?
Things like yoga,
Okay.
massage, even just turning off the news for a little bit.
Sometimes you just got to unplug.
You do. It could do wonders for your mental state.
To-
So I'm curious, what are some of your go-to stress busters?
That's a great question.
What are the things that help you unwind and de-stress?
I think that's something for our listeners to think about, too.
Absolutely. All right, now let's zoom in on nutrition.
The fuel that keeps us going.
I love how the guide defines nutrition in such a clear way.
How do they put it?
They say it's simply providing your body with the stuff it needs to grow and function properly.
It's like giving your body the building blocks it needs.
Exactly. But here's the thing.
What?
Not all calories are created equal.
Oh, this is important.
It is. It's about the quality of the food you're putting into your body.
So it's not just about counting calories.
Not at all.
It's about making sure those calories are coming from nutritious sources.
Exactly. And to help visualize this, they use this clever measuring foot analogy.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this measuring foot.
So imagine a foot
All right, got it.
and the toes of the foot.
Yeah.
Those represent the foods that offer very little nutritional value.
So like the junk food.
Yeah, think donuts, chips, fast food, all that stuff.
Okay, so that's the stuff we want to avoid.
We want to minimize those for sure.
Right.
Then as you move up the foot towards the arch,
Yeah.
you've got meals made with natural ingredients like your meats, veggies, those types of things.
Okay, so that's like a step up,
It's a step up. They offer some nutritional value,
but not as much as...
but they're not the superstars.
Gotcha.
And then at the heel of the foot,
Yeah.
that's where the real nutritional heroes are.
Okay. The MVPs of the food world.
Exactly. Your fruits, fresh juices, milk, all those unprocessed natural foods.
So the closer you are to the heel, the better.
The better. Exactly. Think of it like this.
All right.
The closer your meals are to the heel of the measuring foot, the better they are for fueling your body.
It's like a ranking system for your plate.
It is. It's such a simple but brilliant way to think about healthy eating.
I love that analogy.
It really makes you stop and consider your choices, doesn't it?
It does. It makes you think, where does that meal I just ate fall on the measuring foot?
Exactly. So think about your last meal. Where would you put it on the measuring foot?
That's a good question. I'm going to have to ponder that one for a minute.
We'll come back to that. All right. Now let's talk about stress management techniques.
Okay, this is a big one.
It is, because let's be real.
Right? All experience stress.
We've all been there feeling stressed, overwhelmed, maybe even a little anxious.
It's part of life, but it's about managing it effectively.
Exactly. And the guide does a great job of breaking down these techniques.
Like what kind of techniques?
So they talk about things like progressive relaxation.
Okay, what's that?
It's where you consciously relax different muscle groups in your body,
Oh, interesting.
starting with your toes and working your way up.
So you like tense and release.
Exactly. You tense and release each muscle group.
I can see how that would be relaxing.
It's a great way to kind of let go of that tension.
Yeah.
And then they talk about breathing relaxation.
Breathing is so important.
It's amazing how much of an impact our breath has on our overall state of being.
Right, and it's something we can control.
Exactly. And they do emphasize
Yeah.
that it's important to get professional guidance for this, especially if you're new to it.
Makes sense. You want to make sure you're doing it right.
Absolutely. And then there's yoga and other relaxing exercises.
Yoga is great for stress relief.
It is. It's such a mind-body practice.
You're moving your body and calming your mind at the same time.
Exactly. And again, they emphasize the importance of finding a qualified instructor.
So you don't get injured.
Exactly. Safety first.
Always.
All right. Let's get moving.
Let's talk about exercise.
Let's talk about different types of exercise.
Okay, I'm ready.
So the guide throws that whole no pain, no gain mentality out the window.
Good, because I don't subscribe to that.
It's so outdated.
Is.
And they emphasize that fitness is achievable for everyone,
No matter your fitness level.
no matter your fitness level
Or your age.
or how busy you are.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's about finding what works for you and your lifestyle
And what you enjoy.
and what you enjoy. That's key.
Right, because if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick with it.
You're not going to stick with it. You're going to dread it. It's going to feel like a chore.
Exactly. So they break down exercise into 4 main categories.
Okay, let's hear them.
Exercises for bone and muscle strength.
Okay, so that's your strength training,
Exactly.
weightlifting, things like that.
Yeah.
Then there's flexibility exercises.
Oh, yeah. Flexibility is so important.
It is, especially as we get older.
And if you're sitting at a desk all day.
Oh, yeah, we can all relate to that.
Right. We all get those aches and pains.
We do. And then there's cardiovascular exercise.
The heart healthy stuff.
Exactly. Keeping your heart and lungs in tip-top shape.
Very important.
And last but not least,
What's the 4th one?
aerobics.
Oh, yeah. Fun and energetic.
It is. It's a great way to get your heart rate up and burn some calories.
And there's so many different types of aerobics classes.
You can find something that you really enjoy.
From Zumba to dance to step aerobics.
There's something for everyone.
Exactly. So let's start with exercises for bone and muscle strength.
All right, strength training, let's do it.
So this is where you're going to be working with weights.
Yep.
Or resistance bands.
Or even just your own body weight.
Right, you can do a lot of body weight exercises.
You can, and the guide really emphasizes starting slow.
Especially if you're new to strength training.
Exactly. You don't want to overdo it.
Right, because then you're going to be sore and you're going to be discouraged.
Exactly. So start with lighter weights or fewer reps.
And gradually increase as you get stronger.
Listen to your body.
That's key.
Okay, now let's talk about flexibility.
Okay, flexibility is all about improving your range of motion.
And preventing those aches and pains.
Right. It can really help with that.
It can, and the guide suggests doing some stretches every day.
Even if it's just for a few minutes.
Even if it's just for a few minutes.
It makes a difference.
It really does.
You can do it while you're watching TV.
Or listening to a podcast.
Multitasking at its finest.
Exactly. All right, cardiovascular exercise.
This is the one that gets your heart pumping.
It does. It's so good for your heart health.
And your lungs.
And your lungs, and it can help with weight management.
And it can boost your mood.
Oh, yeah, those endorphins.
Those feel-good chemicals.
Yeah, exactly. So they recommend things like brisk walking,
Jogging,
swimming.
dancing.
There's so many options.
And again, you don't have to do it for hours on end.
Right, even 30 minutes a day can make a big difference.
And you can break it up throughout the day.
Yeah, you can do 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. It all adds up. Exactly. And then finally, aerobics.
Aerobics is so much fun.
It is. It's a great way to get your heart rate up and have a good time.
You can take a class.
You can.
Or you can just put on some music and dance around your living room.
Exactly. It's about moving your body and enjoying yourself.
I love that.
Now, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about healthy aging.
Okay, this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart.
Mine too. It's something we all have to think about.
Right, we're all getting older.
We are. But the good news is there are things we can do to age gracefully and maintain our vitality.
Absolutely. And the guide really emphasizes that it's not just about physical health.
It's about mental and emotional health as well.
Exactly. It's about holistic well-being.
I love how they talk about the importance of mindset.
Mindset is everything.
It really is. It's about embracing this next chapter of our lives.
And focusing on what we can control.
Exactly. We can't stop time.
But we can age gracefully.
But we can age gracefully and enjoy this stage of life.
And the guide even has this great quote, "Your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open."
I love that. It's such a great reminder to stay curious and engaged.
And open to new experiences.
Absolutely.
Throughout life.
Throughout life, no matter our age.
Exactly.
And then they offer some specific advice for older adults.
Exactly.
They talk about staying mentally sharp, choosing safe and enjoyable exercises, getting regular checkups, kicking any bad habits, and making sure their home environment is safe and supportive.
Okay, let's break those down a bit.
All right, so staying mentally sharp, they suggest things like reading, puzzles, learning new skills, socializing. All those things can help keep your brain active.
It's like exercise for your mind.
It is. It's
Yeah.
so important to keep challenging yourself mentally.
Totally. And then choosing safe and enjoyable exercises.
Yeah, as we get older, it's important to listen to our bodies and choose activities that we can do safely
And that we enjoy.
and that we enjoy. Because if we're not enjoying it, we're not going to stick with it.
Right. It shouldn't feel like a chore.
Exactly.
So things like walking, swimming, yoga, tai chi,
Those are all great options.
they're low impact.
They are. And they can be done at your own pace.
Perfect for seniors.
Exactly. And then getting regular checkups.
Preventative care is so important.
It is, especially as we get older.
Right. It's about catching things early on.
And staying on top of your health.
Exactly.
And then kicking any bad habit.
Oh, yeah. We all have those.
We do, whether it's smoking, excessive drinking, unhealthy eating.
It's never too late to make a change.
It's never too late to prioritize your health.
Absolutely.
And then making sure their home environment is safe and supportive.
This is about preventing falls and injuries.
It is. Things like installing grab bars in the bathroom, removing tripping hazards, making sure the lighting is good.
Simple modifications can make a big difference.
They can. It's about creating a space where you feel safe and comfortable.
Totally.
And, it's amazing how much attention the guide gives to every aspect of healthy aging.
They really cover it all.
They do, from mindset to exercise to home safety.
It's like a comprehensive guide to aging well.
It is. And before we move on, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
What's that?
The idea that not all food is created equal.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
I think that's worth digging into a little deeper.
Let's do it.
So the guide explains that while any food can be metabolized, broken down and used by our bodies,
Yeah,
the nutritional value can vary drastically.
that makes sense.
Right. They use this analogy about an apple versus a donut.
Okay, I love food analogies.
And me too. They make it so much easier to understand.
Really?
So an apple
Yeah,
packed with nutrients,
good stuff.
good stuff, our bodies can use for growth and development.
That makes sense.
But with a donut,
Yeah.
your body's like, not much I can do with this. Better store it somewhere, perhaps the butt cheeks.
That's hilarious.
It's so funny, but it really drives the point home.
It does.
It's like, are you fueling your body
Yeah.
or are you just filling up on empty calories?
It's a good question to ask ourselves.
It is. And to
Yeah.
help with that, remember that measuring foot analogy we talked about?
Yeah, the foot.
It's such a helpful tool.
It is. It's a great visual.
So on one end of the foot, you've got those highly processed foods that offer very little nutritional value.
The donuts and the chip and all that.
All that stuff. And then as you move up the foot towards the arch, you've got mules made with natural ingredients.
It's your meat and veggies.
Exactly. They offer some nutritional value, but they're not as nutrient dense as what you find at the heel.
And the heel is where the superstars are.
The all-stars, your fruits, fresh juices, milk, all those unprocessed natural foods.
Loaded with vitamins and minerals.
Exactly. So the closer your meal is to the heel of the measuring foot, the better it is for fueling your body.
It's such a simple but effective way to think about it.
It is. It
Yeah.
really makes you stop and consider what you're putting on your plate.
Totally. And speaking of things we often overlook,
What's that?
sleep.
Oh, yeah, sleep.
The guide dedicates a whole section to sleep.
They do, and for good reason.
Right. It's essential for our health.
It is, both physical and mental.
Absolutely. We all know how cranky we feel after a bad night's sleep.
Oh, yeah, foggy-headed, irritable.
You're not your best self.
Not at all. But the guide points out that consistently skimping on sleep,
Can have serious consequences.
it can weaken your immune system
Increase your risk of chronic diseases.
and even affect your thinking and memory.
Wow, that's scary.
It is. So they really emphasize the importance of good sleep hygiene.
What's sleep hygiene?
It's basically the habits that set us up for a good night's rest.
Oh, okay. Like creating a bedtime routine.
Exactly. So they recommend things like taking a warm bath before bed,
Reading a book.
listening to calming music.
Avoiding caffeine and alcohol before bed.
Yes, those are big ones.
They can really disrupt your sleep.
They can. And creating a cool, dark, and quiet sleep environment.
Oh yeah, your bedroom should be your sanctuary.
It should be a place where you can relax and unwind.
And they also say to disconnect from screens at least an hour before bed.
That's a tough one.
It is, but it's so important.
It is that blue light can really interfere with your sleep.
It messes with your melatonin production,
Exactly.
which is the hormone that helps you fall asleep.
Right. So it's worth making that effort to disconnect.
Totally. And I think they also mention addressing any underlying sleep disorders, right?
They do. If you're consistently having trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, they recommend talking to a healthcare professional.
Makes sense. There could be an underlying medical condition.
Exactly. It's always best to rule that out.
Right.
All right, let's move on to a topic that I think resonates with just about everyone these days.
What's that?
Stress management.
Oh, yeah, the big one.
The big one, because we all experience stress in our lives.
It's unavoidable.
It is, but it's about how we manage it.
Right. Finding healthy coping mechanisms.
Exactly. And the guide starts by acknowledging that stress is a normal part of life.
Yeah, it's actually a physiological response to demanding situations.
Right. It's like our body's way of preparing us to deal with a challenge.
The fight or flight response.
Exactly. But when that stress becomes chronic,
That's when it becomes a problem.
that's when it starts to negatively impact our physical and mental health.
Right. It can lead to all sorts of issues.
It can. So the guide really emphasizes the importance of figuring out what your personal stress triggers are.
What sets you off?
What sets you off? What are the things that consistently cause you stress?
And then finding ways to manage those triggers.
Exactly. And they talk about a variety of techniques.
Like what?
Things like progressive muscle relaxation, breathing exercises, yoga, even massage therapy.
It's like having a toolbox full of stress-busting tools.
It is. It's about finding what works for you and using those tools when you need them.
And sometimes stress relief can be as simple as turning off the news
Oh, yeah. Or taking a break from social media.
or getting out in nature.
Those are all great ways to de-stress.
It's about finding what works for you and making self-care a priority.
Absolutely.
And that's something we should all be doing.
We should. It's not selfish. It's essential.
Totally.
All right, now let's focus on the final chapter of the guide, which is dedicated to health and fitness tips for older adults.
Okay, let's talk about aging well.
It's all about maintaining vitality and enjoying life to the fullest as we age.
And it's never too early to start thinking about this.
It's not. It's about setting ourselves up for success in our later years.
Exactly.
And I love how they emphasize the importance of mindset.
Mindset is everything.
It really is. It's about embracing the aging process.
And focusing on what you can control.
Exactly. We can't stop time,
But we can age gracefully.
but we can age gracefully and enjoy this stage of life.
Totally.
And they really drive home the point that age is just a number.
It's true. You're only as old as you feel.
Exactly. We can continue to live active and fulfilling lives well into our golden years.
Absolutely. And they emphasize that regular exercise is just as important for older adults as it is for younger folks.
It is. It's about staying mobile and maintaining your strength and balance,
And it can help prevent falls.
which is a major concern for older adults.
It is. So they suggest choosing activities that are safe and enjoyable.
Things like walking, swimming, yoga, tai chi.
Those are all great options.
They are. And they can be done at your own pace.
Exactly. No need to push yourself too hard.
Listen to your body.
Always.
And they also highlight the importance of regular health checkups.
Preventative care is so important as we age.
It is. It's about catching things early on and staying on top of your health.
And they encourage older adults to address any unhealthy habits they might have developed over the years.
That's so true.
Whether it's smoking, excessive drinking, unhealthy eating.
It's never too late to make a change.
It's never too late to prioritize your health.
Absolutely.
And lastly, they talk about the importance of senior safety at home.
Making sure your home environment is safe and supportive.
It's about preventing falls and injuries.
Things like installing grab bars in the bathroom, removing tripping hazards, making sure the lighting is adequate.
Simple modifications can make a big difference.
They can. It's about creating a space where you feel safe and comfortable.
Totally.
And, it's amazing how much attention the guide gives to every aspect of healthy aging.
They really cover it all.
They do. From mindset to exercise to home safety.
It's like a comprehensive guide to aging well.
It is. And before we wrap up this part of the deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay, hit me with it.
What is one small step you can take today to prioritize your health and well-being?
It doesn't have to be anything major.
Nope. It could be as simple as choosing a healthy snack over a sugary treat,
Or taking a few minutes to stretch.
or going to bed a little earlier tonight.
Every little bit counts.
It does. It all adds up over time.
And those small changes can lead to big results.
They can. So what's that one small step you're going to take today?
That's a great question for our listeners to ponder.
Absolutely. We'll be back soon to continue our deep dive into Health and Fitness 101.
It really is. It's all about making those conscious choices, right? And those little swaps that we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. It's like those small changes can make a big difference.
Absolutely. They really do add up over time.
They do. It's not about being perfect. It's about progress.
Exactly. And they make a great point in the guide about how even small changes can create like a ripple effect
It's true. It's like that saying,
on your overall health.
what you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while.
Exactly.
It's those consistent habits
The little things you do day in and day out.
that really make a difference.
Yeah, and they really empower us
They do.
to take control of our health
They do.
and make those choices that benefit us in the long run.
And that's such a powerful message to take away from this whole deep dive. It's like you have the power to make those changes.
You do.
You're not a victim of your circumstances.
You're in the driver's seat.
You are. All right, so before we jump to the final part of this deep dive,
Okay.
let's take a moment to reflect.
All right. I like this.
What are some of the key takeaways that have really resonated with you from this guide so far?
Good question.
What's one small step you can take today to prioritize your health and well-being?
It's all about those little steps, right?
It is. It doesn't have to be anything major.
No, it could be as simple as choosing like a healthy snack instead of that donut.
Or taking a few minutes to stretch.
Or going to bed a little earlier tonight.
Or drinking more water.
Every little bit counts.
It does. It all adds up over time.
And those small changes can lead to big results.
They can.
It really can.
So what's that one small step you're going to take today?
That's a great question for our listeners to ponder.
Absolutely. We'll be back soon to continue our deep dive into Health and Fitness 101.
It's all about, making those conscious choices to support our well-being,
Right.
whether it's grabbing a piece of fruit instead of that donut or, taking a few minutes to stretch or simply just getting to bed a little earlier.
Those little things really do add up over time.
They do.
And I love how the guide reminds us that it's not about being perfect. It's about progress.
Exactly.
It's not about striving for this unattainable ideal.
Right. We're all human.
We are.
We're going to have slip up.
We are. We're going to have days where we don't make the healthiest choices. But it's about getting back on track and continuing to move forward.
Exactly. And they make a great point about how even small changes can create that ripple effect
It's true.
on your overall health.
And it can have a positive impact on other areas of your life, too.
Absolutely. It's all connected.
It's all connected. Your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health.
Right. It's all intertwined.
It is. So taking care of one area can really benefit the others.
Totally.
They really empower us to take control of our health
I do.
and make choices that benefit us in the long run.
Yeah, it's about taking ownership of your well-being.
And that's such a powerful message to take away from this whole deep dive. It's like, you have the power to make those changes.
You do.
You're not a victim of your circumstances.
You're in the driver's seat.
You are. So as we wrap up our exploration of Health and Fitness 101,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay, hit me with it.
What's one small step you can take today to prioritize your health and well-being?
It doesn't have to be anything major.
Nope. It could be as simple as choosing a healthy snack over a sugary treat.
Or taking a few minutes to stretch.
Or going to bed a little earlier tonight.
Or drinking more water.
Every little bit counts.
It does. It all adds up over time.
And those small changes can lead to big results.
They can. They really can.
So what's that one small step you're going to take today?
I hope our listeners are thinking about that right now.
Me too. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
It's about progress, not perfection.
Exactly. So be patient with yourself.
And celebrate those small victories along the way.
Absolutely. Those small wins are what keep us motivated and moving forward.
They do.
So thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Health and Fitness 101.
It's been a pleasure.
It has. We hope you found it insightful and, most importantly, motivating.
And I hope our listeners feel empowered.
Me too. Empowered to take control of their health and make those positive changes.
Because you have the power to do it.
You do. So
Yeah.
go out there and be the healthiest, happiest version of yourself.
That's what it's all about.
It is. Thanks again for listening.